Two really consistent big men who can play inside and out, love to play in the transition. And we are underway at the Copper Box. And the Lions will get the first possession with Shavar Reynolds Jr. Off the screen, Reynolds Jr. has a bit of space, decides to come out. 10 on the shot clock. And a quick turnover, and away come the Riders with Johnson. Carey. Methodical start from the Riders, getting a stop on the opening possession. Single figures on the shot clock for Johnson. Puts up a three from the wing, short. Battle living up to his name with the rebound. Can't get the follow-up to go, though. Reynolds Jr. has it. Here is Brown. Right at the top. 8 to shoot. Reynolds Jr. slicing and dicing.
Well, you know, John, I think Leicester have decided, normally it looked like they go drop coverage on the ball screen, which takes away that option. But that time he had the chance to turn the corner. Great decision.
Carey Jr. long with the three. Reynolds Jr. collects. Reynolds Jr. and Battle, that'll be a tenacious battle tonight. Here is Rye. Kicks it out, Reynolds Jr. straight away. Short, rebounded by Loving. Carey Jr., lovely pass inside, and Martin the finish. Beautiful find.
Yeah, I love Leicester when they play in transition. They didn't pull it out, didn't get to the half court, just kept that tempo. Great early pick and roll action. Defense wasn't set, easy to.
Right. Brown Jr. down Main Street, goes off the glass and bobbles it in. You sense both teams just feeling each other out a little in the opening possessions. As we have a brief break in play.
There was the 24 o'clock shot was a little slow, I think, in starting. And gives us a chance to actually talk a little bit, John, about the way that Leicester have to find a way of containing Lions. They cannot allow them to turn the corner. When they've gone that drop coverage against the ball screen, that helps them. But Lions being really aggressive early, trademark for them getting to the hoop.
Carey Jr. Battle. Putting the moves on Brown, attacks, back iron, and on the follow was Martin. And that is trademark Nate Martin, who averaged a double-double in his senior year at Marshall University, and he's carried that on to the Riders as Brown Jr. attacks the cup, and good defense from Martin. Ball goes out of bounds. It will stay with the Lions.
Well, at least on that occasion, Leicester had feet in the keyway. They challenged the shot. They didn't let Brown have a look at the finish around the ring. It was contested. That's much better. Everybody has to collapse to the middle to take away those open options going to the ring.
The Lions have got a couple of field goals attacking the middle right there, so just illustrates the point. Here is Williams at the top. 6 to shoot for Reynolds Jr. Bit of a mismatch with Martin at the elbow, puts it in. And the Lions have retaken the lead, 6-4 in the early going.
Martin's got to back himself. If you're going to switch that, make him take a shot that he doesn't want to take, that he's not used to taking. Allowing him to pull up is just bread and butter.
Great find there from Carey, and Martin does the rest. Great link-up play, and once again, Martin the beneficiary, as we're tied at 6. Brown Jr. to Reynolds Jr. Lukashunas. 8 to shoot. Lukashunas driving at Johnson, comes out. 4 to shoot. The kick out. Williams, a 3. That's long. And Carey Jr. the rebound. Good defense along the perimeter there. But there's a steal. Brown Jr. comes up with it and lays it up and in.
Well, John, we talked about it before the game. They are relentless. You cannot give them those opportunities. You've just done it. You said it during commentary. And I was just about to ping the point. That was a great defensive series by the Riders. Everything kept in front of them, and then they do this. which is just, you cannot give Lions easy points off of turnovers like that if you want to get the first swing over him in the season, which is what the Riders are trying to get.
Now Battle down Main Street, loses his handle, and a whistle has gone. And was going to mention as well, London did so well at doing something very similar to that last Friday. They held the Phoenix to just 3 field goals in the first 10 minutes. And that really set the tone for the first leg win and the overall semi-final win. As that's a first foul of the evening on Charlie Brown Jr. And Raekwon Battle will go to the line.
John, the whole thing for Lions is you build it from your defense. They keep opponents down under 48% from the floor, from the 2-point range. And that's their big plus on every other team in the league. Riders are only giving up 54%. That difference is largely down to the fact that Lions take care of the basketball. They don't give the ball away. And they force teams to work hard to get there too.
Battle hit the second, leading the SLB in points per game, 21.3. Here is Reynolds Jr. Reynolds Jr., who can get hot in a flash and puts it in from the free throw line. And Shavar Reynolds Jr. now moves on to 6.
But that's what Shavar Reynolds wants to do. He wants to get to that area and pull up. And if you allow him to pull up with separation, he's going to make a very high percentage of shots. Got to make him beat you. Try to make him beat you and play off the dribble.
Carey Jr. and Martin connecting again, and Martin with the punch. Reynolds again, this time off. Loving collects the board. 10-9. As we enter the halfway point, Loving attacking, losing the ball, bailed out by the whistle.
Well, there's that early offense again. The ball wasn't pulled out. They didn't run anything in the half court. Lions didn't stop them early enough. They got deep enough, generate another foul, go to the free throw line. They look really good when they play in that early clock phase of the game, Riders. They really do get options they want. I don't think the officials have given them shots, though, which is a little harsh, in my opinion.
Reynolds Jr. comes out. Tariq Phillip checks into the ball game.
What a season Tariq Phillips having when they really do need someone to step up. And in every single game, whether it be Europe Cup, great win for silverware in the trophy final. Tariq Phillip, veteran status now at 32, and he's having a great season.
Loving over Rye, and Mark Loving gets his first field goal.
It's a nice start by Riders.
Yeah.
Right? They've just got to maintain, because
Lucas,
this Lions roster are going to play hard.
Lucas Shunas burying a 3 at the wing. And just like that, the Riders who had the lead get it stripped away from them. Carey. Looking for Battle. Leicester 50% from the field so far. That will go down following the miss there from Battle. Conversely, the Lions shooting well to start, 62%. And you talk about Tariq Phillip, a guy coming off a really good summer, obviously played for Great Britain at Eurobasket, coming here to London, and like you said, really has excelled in the Euro Cup and has translated that form here into the SLB, playing minutes alongside Adamu and Reynolds Jr. and really adjusting to his role well. Here is Williams, Lucas Shunas. Williams to Rye. Here is Phillip from the corner pocket, in and out. And Loving another rebound. Already 3 rebounds for Mark Loving. Evie. Martin. He's had a fantastic first quarter, has 8 points. Spencer Johnson grazes the rim with his 3. Riders now 0 of 4 from downtown.
Well, and every one of them's been tough. Everyone's been contested. Lions defense is just very good.
And Sandy is fouled, and he'll go to the strike. And Kieran Sandy, of course, another player who came back just before February, January the 30th to be exact, and has with all the changes that the Lions have had, has really adjusted well. As you see the replay, just battling his way to the basket, and he'll go to the line.
I mean, he's a great story for Lions. Local guy that really helped him develop, and the great thing that Coach Sabonis has done is he really does share the minutes. So everybody has a role on this team. We were looking at it earlier on. In all the games against the Riders this year, every guy has played, every guy has made a contribution, and that's been such a big factor for Lions dealing with a tough schedule of playing in Europe. This guy, though, as we said before the game, in the pre-game, the best player, the most complete player that Lions had earlier in the season. They've missed him a lot. Okay, they've had great contributions with other guys stepping up, but he is, for me, the best big man in the league in terms of that inside-outside type role. Can shoot the three, works, great footwork in the block. Scott's just the complete deal for Lions.
Sandy makes the first free throw. Scott and Ethan Price into the game for the first time. Aaron Menzies, the 7'3" centre out of Manchester, into the game for the first time for the Riders. And a bit of a bobble there, and the Lions get the possession back. Here is Price. Another player with a great story to tell. Ethan Price attacking. Off to the right with his shot. Here is Evie. The lefty who can read the court so well. Gives it up to Victor Naduku. Menzies. And the whistle has gone. Group substitutions for the Leicester Riders, and good to see Flynn Borman Rafiat into the game as well, and Tonua Soliman also into the game for the first time.
Well, but there's two great products of the academy system in the UK, with those two young English guys getting on the floor.
Evie misses the three from the corner, nearly got the steal. Phillip gets it back. Here is Price. Phillip, 2:50 to play in the first period. Under the legs, and Price punches it home.
Don't you just love Tariq Phillip? Don't you just love Tariq Phillip, eh? Crowd love him. Gives us loads to talk about.
Ethan Price with the bunnies, but what a pass from Phillip. As the ball goes out of bounds. And the pride of Bury St Edmunds with the punctuating finish. So nice, Mark. We have to see it twice.
There you go. We could get all technical about, well, the help side didn't rotate. Who cares? It's a great pass and a great finish.
Here is Evie. 2:30 to play in the first. 16-11 in favour of the Lions. Menzies backing down. Price. Soliman with the shot clock at 1. Soliman throws it up, and Sandy collects. Phillip. Lions with a full head of speed here, but then Phillip turns it over, but gets it back again. Sandy to Phillip. Bit of a mismatch here. Phillip drives inside. Scott can't hang on, and away come the Riders. Only the Lions' second turnover thus far, as Evie, full head of speed, gets fouled before he saw daylight.
John, there's the point we were making earlier on. Aaron Menzies on the switch. There's no way he can guard Tariq Phillip one-on-one, as we see the foul mid-court. Sometimes I question those calls, but questioning in terms of, is there a genuine attempt to play at the ball, or is it a case of stopping the break? Probably a legitimate stopping the break foul. But Menzies says, okay, you're going to have to go past me. I'm going to be as big as I can. I'm not going to foul you, and then he's going to rely on his rotation behind him, and they did a really nice job at running the defensive rules.
Menzies under the basket, and a whistle has gone, and that'll be another foul against the Lions. That'll put them in the penalty with 1:40 to play in the first period, and the Riders have been very well disciplined, actually, with just one team foul in the first period, and Aaron Menzies heading to the line. And we talk about Tariq Phillip, having a good summer with Great Britain. Aaron Menzies, another Great Britain international in a couple of years gone past, and a really talented British homegrown big man.
Well, the guys in Manchester, and they've produced so many players from that part of the world. When you see him going up against Ethan Price, it's great, two young English guys going against each other, but Menzies has size advantage. He just needs to catch it a little deeper than have to work too much to get to the charge circle and go up over Ethan Price. He's just got to catch it deeper, work harder, and his teammates have to work harder to create the passing lane to give him the ball deeper. When he's on the floor, you've got to use that advantage, get it to him deep.
57% from the line this season, buries them both. And now it's a three-point game with 1:35 to play in the first. Amin Adamu into the game for the first time and on the ball for the Lions. Again, like you said, Mark, rotations galore from the Lions. Here is Adamu from the wing, a three.
I'm just a huge fan. I mean, okay, we had him at Barking Abbey for a year. The guys at Kohler did a great job with him before he came here. He had a nice college career. But this is where he's blossomed now. The responsibility he's been given, these numbers just look like a good point guard number.
There's another BA grad. Borman Rafiet didn't get the three. Menzies battling under the basket. A whistle has gone and two shots on the way for the Riders. Aaron Menzies back at the stripe.
Okay, I've tried those and none of them seem to have an impact.
58.1 seconds to play in the first period. Menzies misses the first. And you know, we talk about homegrown players. We spoke about Aaron Menzies, but there's quite a plethora of homegrown talent on the floor right now with 58.1 to play in the first as Adamu collects the rebound. Scott sends the screen. Adamu spinning, twisting and turning and scoring.
Well, he'll be with Great Britain next week in the competition window. They're going to love if he brings that type of game. He's been a part of that program for the last two or 3 years. Real assets.
The lefty, Evie, a three. And it's 21-13 in favor of the Lions. 5 Lions players included in that Great Britain squad against Italy for next week, as you said, Mark, and Adamu, one of them on the ball. There's just around a second differential between shot and game clock to end the first. Scott inside, Scott and one.
Hey, it was a nice pass, a super sort of way, thread the eye of the needle with the pass, but Scott still had the hard finish through traffic, and he just does. It's too simple to say it's all blue-collar work. It's great quality blue-collar work that he does. Still has a lot to do, traffic to go through, gets it off the glass and finishes the play, goes for the extra point. Absolute complete on the inside.
Joel Scott putting a bit of muscle with the hustle as he buries the resulting free throw. 1.6 to play. Borman Rafiet doesn't even make the backboard, and that ends is where they haven't got into their set quick enough.
Well, they're not getting enough stops because they can run out of the stops, but when a team is shooting 60-odd%, it's hard.
Start of the second period. Riders trailing 24-16, and Loving doesn't put a dent in that, misses the two. And Reynolds Jr. back into the game and on the ball. Reynolds Jr. surveying what's before him, being marked by Battle. A hard screen by Scott, who goes up for three and rattles in and out. Ball is loose. Johnson says thank you very much. Carey, Battle, straight away a three. That's no good. And Adamu rebounds. Another quick offense from the Riders, and it plays into the hands of the Lions, who turn it back over again. And a foul there by Dean Williams.
It's a great foul. I mean, at the end of the day, Dean Williams is, you know, a legitimate basketball action. Okay, some people might disagree with me, but that's a legitimate way to stop the break. Super job by Dean Williams. And this is the thing about Lions. They're so deep. They'll share the fouls. They'll share everything, this team.
Around 26, 27 minutes a game. Pretty much the majority of the Lions players manage on the floor, bar a couple of players. Battle right away, a three. No good. Adamu, another rebound. And Adamu brings it up. Nice patient build-up play, and we have a foot violation there as the Lions will get it back. Early doors in the second period.
I was expecting Riders. This part of the season is where Riders have been so good over the last X number of years. And with Coach Paternoster's experience, you know they're going to have a run at some point at the end of the season. And I thought they'd have come out with all that break, they'd have come out with a way of trying to really force Lions to do things they didn't want to do. But Lions have just been at a different level.
Scott there with the shot along the baseline. You said it as well. And these two teams won silverware last season. The Lions, of course, winning the league, the championship, and the Riders beating the Eagles in the playoff final. And it's been a very consistent table with all the top 8 teams, all with winning records. The top 7 teams, excuse me, as Battle misses the three. Adamu comes up with it. Sandy. Backing down, getting a bit open, and putting it in. Carey Jr. was looking for the offensive foul, and Carey made him pay.
Yeah, absolutely made him pay. Got to be a little bit harder than that on that post defense.
Now Carey looking to respond, but can't in kind. Martin under the basket with the rebound. Johnson now attacking, and he is fouled, and he'll go to the stripe.
Martin's been good. You know, he's worked hard around, he's finished around the ring, he's rebounded well. He's probably the brightest sort of like spot for the Riders so far.
Well, that was what he was brought in for by Rob Paternoster, was that hustle and that, you know, under the basket presence. He might be, you know, one of the shorter big men in the league, but his heart and his determination certainly precedes that, and he's got a couple of rebounds in this contest, as mentioned. In his senior year, averaged a double-double, and has been a nightmare on the glass for all the teams this season, as Spencer Johnson.
Well, I think the thing about the SLB here is that guys of that sort of size can be effective in this league. Quickness on the inside is the premium attribute. You know, that's why some of the really big guys do struggle. This league is a little quick sometimes. He's been a real addition. And I know it's, you know, it's an 11-point margin, but Riders are a far better shooting team than this. They're gonna start to make shots. Statistically, they will actually start to find range. They will knock down threes, which will give them the chance to get back in this game. They don't need to panic. They need to get their, you know, get down low, defensively get stops, and work their way back into the game.
Well, the gap is 10 on the back of the free throw from Johnson, who had 10 points, 5 rebounds a couple weeks ago against the Newcastle Eagles. Missed both of his three-point attempts. Here is Reynolds Jr. 5 to shoot for Reynolds. Looking for that separation. There it is, but short with the jumper.
That's a much better job defensively. Didn't let him create any separation. Hand up early.
And now Carey Jr. to the cup. Can't get it to fall. Ball is loose. Johnson rips it out of Rye's hands, and the Riders reset. 3 minutes played in the second. 5 on the shot clock. Here is Carey. Driving at Williams. Too short with the layup. And Rye collects it. Here is Williams. Dean Williams still has it. Reynolds Jr. slows it. Reynolds Jr. dancing with the ball. Battle nearly steals it off him. Williams sets himself for three. That's short, and on the follow, Aaron Rye.
Well, ever since he's been in this country, Aaron Rye never, ever, ever stopped.
Just the single free throw made thus far, and he's found the going tough. But that's down to London, one of the meanest defenses in the SLB. Yeah. Their guards are switching, and they're doing a great job on it.
That's what that small lineup does. Everybody can switch to Battle and make every shot a tough one. He's had one open look. That's all he's had throughout the whole of this game so far.
Carey putting the moves on Mo Solowade into the game for the first time. Gets the step and lays it up and in as the shot clock was about to expire.
It's a super move, but it had to be a super move because Solowade is just a great defender. Super move to finish though.
Solowade had a lane there, decided not to use it. Williams muscling his way inside.
Well, Dean Williams will be with the national team for the first time this coming. What an addition he's going to be, defensively in particular, but how active is he around the ring?
Evie a three, the lefty buries it.
Big three for the Raiders.
And now it's a single-digit game. We talk about Williams, of course, the only British player to win the Basketball Champions League with Telecom Baskets Bonn. Here is Adamu off balance. Here is Carey Jr. Carey Jr. lets fly. That's off the back iron. And Charlie Brown Jr. had the rebound, but miscontrolled it, and the Riders get it back as Borman Rafiet will come back into the game, and Don Carey Jr. will take a rest. Tariq Phillip also checking in as Adamu comes out.
Well, Carey has 2 points, and as you said, Battle has 1. If those two are going to get those sorts of numbers...
As Borman Rafiet straight away and 1. And that's just brilliant court awareness from Flynn Borman Rafiet. Of course, spent a lot of time in Canada following his stint, his grad with Barking Abbey, and has just improved game after game. We see it there on the replay. Fantastic court awareness, knew exactly where he was.
Oh, and I think Coach Paternoster, I think would be pleasantly surprised at the contribution he's got from Borman Rafiet this year, because, yeah, he was a good college player in Canada. But he didn't come back as a really heralded superstar coming back. He had a super career in Canada. But, I think his contribution has been exceptional.
Well, he's had a great amount of experience. Of course, he was part of that Barking Abbey select team that played in the EuroLeague Adidas Next Generation tournament, which the Lions will be in this season as Brown Jr. connects from downtown.
Have to make people put the ball on the floor. Can't let them stand there and shoot open jump shots.
37-26, 4:34 to play in the half as Evie reverses it over Williams. Pretty.
Well, it should be no surprise. I mean, he led all Leicester scorers in the first game between these two teams on game day 1 of the SLB season.
And at the other end, Solowade connects. Whatever you can do, I can do just as well.
It's depth, isn't it? It's depth, John. Everybody off that Lions bench has stepped in with confidence and just knows what the assets they bring to the team.
And a whistle has gone. As Loving, he was very close to going out of bounds there, but the whistle just about went before he did. Joel Scott will check back in, and Dean Williams heads to the bench.
When you've got this much depth, if you look at the stat sheet at the half, you'll look at the Lions roster. No one will have more than 2 fouls. They share everything out in every aspect of the game.
Here is Borman Rafiet. London shooting an incredible 68% from the field. Their field goal percentage has not dropped below 60 since the early stages of the first quarter. Battle's struggles continue. Martin, though, there to pick up the loose change. 8 to shoot. Great defense from Solowade. Better offense, though, from Martin.
Well, Martin is the really bright spark. Really bright spot for the Riders in this first half.
First player into double figures, 10 points. For
just about keeping him in it, really.
Really is. So you see the scoring for the Lions, and it's well spread. Brown Jr. from the top.
It's another open look. It's another open look that they let him get their feet set and have time to release the basketball.
Evie gets the step, lays it up and in, and a foul. Travis Evie, the lefty, who had 13 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Another player who can really read the floor well and score in spurts. And you saw it there, just exhilarating to the cup. and he'll go to the stripe.
And again, there's another example that if you can exploit, if you can break the defense down on the ball, Lions don't like to get into rotations. They trust the guy on the ball to keep the guy in front of them. So Evie broke it down, the help was late, and he gets it. Evie and Martin are just about keeping the Riders in touch here.
Tariq Phillip. Phillip dancing with it. Here is Scott. And Scott puts in the floater. And as well as that, getting the Lions fans on their feet. Battle. Fakes, drives, hangs, gets it, and one. Much needed field goal, exactly what he needed.
Well, if you're struggling from the perimeter, take it to the ring. Great finish because he absorbed a lot of contact. He's struggling, find a way to see the ball go through the ring. Now he gets to the free throw line. Hopefully for the Riders and their fans, this will be the start of him getting back to his normal being productive.
Well, he's 0 of 5 from downtown thus far. He hit 6 3-pointers in the last meeting back in December, and that's a much-needed field goal. Before that, he was 0 of 7. But that's testament to the various guards for the Lions doing a number on him. Here is Rye putting it on the floor and just going to check if that'll count.
I think they're going to get. I think he's saying it's on the floor, player.
Averaged around 18 points with the Cheshire Phoenix in his first season with the SLB out of the Hemel Storm, who of course were a perfect 41-0 in their NBL season when he was in. Scott muscling his way inside.
It's just any young player wants to know how to play close to the ring. His footwork is so good. His balance is so good. And the shot looks simple, but it's because all those other attributes, hours of drills, just a great example for young players.
Suleiman going to the cup, can't get it to fall. It was a good look for Tomiwa Suleiman. No doubt they'll fall later on. A steal there, ball is loose. Brown Jr. comes up with it and now goes to the basket, and he'll go to the line for 2. And a good foul there from Martin, otherwise that would have been a certain 2 points for Brown.
And we're going to sound a little bit like pushing the play button again and again, but they're just relentless. The number of times I've covered Lions this season, the word relentless just sums them up. Defensively, they're in the passing lane. They're aggressive going to the ring. They rebound well. Whoever's on the floor, their intensity level is consistent. And if you want to beat them, you have to match those. But even before you start talking about how well you are playing, they've lost games. They've lost 3 games in the league. Bristol have beaten them. Surrey have beaten them. So teams can turn over the Lions, but you've got to match that part of the game. If you don't, you're not winning.
As Chandi Brown Jr. gets the free throws, and he's going to be benefited by a stint now on the bench as Kalaris Lukashunas comes in. Of course, a player who represented Lithuania in the FIBA World Cup 2023 qualifiers. And of course, a EuroLeague veteran as well. Battle with it. Battle again misses the 2. It's a testament to him to keep on shooting, not let that shot drop, even though he's struggling from the field. Here is Phillip. 1:13 to play in the half. Lukashunas to Phillip. Phillip dancing. Phillip shooting. Phillip scoring. Phillip now moves on to just 3 points. Whistle has gone. And both Coach VP, the assistant coach for the Lions, and head coach for the Riders, Paternoster, very animated on the sidelines. 59 seconds left in the half, and the Riders trailing 52-35.
Riders restart from the sideline.
Here is Carey.
Carey Jr. into Travis Evie.
Evie. Shot clock in single figures. Evie a 3. That's short. Rye with the rebound. And the ball will go out of bounds. Referees are not sure who to give it to, and I think it's going to be a rider's ball.
It should be a rider's ball.
Should be.
Because there's no reason for it not to be if they don't call the foul. I'm not sure there was a foul because it was, as he came down, I don't know if he slipped or he was fouled.
Well, that's what Aaron Rye's having a chat about with Bob Barnier there.
Let's take a look. Yeah, there's some incidental contact which meant that the referee could have given the ball.
You
back
have
to
seen them
Lions.
called before, yeah, absolutely. Matthew Goodwin into the game for the first time for the Lions as Carey Jr. hangs, doesn't get it to fall though.
They are having to work so hard against this defense to get a shot. Every shot is contested.
35% from the floor in the first half for the Riders. Phillip. It's about a 6-second differential between shot and game clock. Phillip steps back and buries it. Battle, final seconds of the first half. Battle launches and hits on the buzzer for the half. First 3 points. 83%. They've only missed 8 shots all game long out of 30 field goal attempts. Leicester have shot 7 more field goal attempts than the Lions as we start the third quarter here at the Box That Rocks. Lukasciunas a 3 right away.
The scan report says Lukasciunas shoots the 3. Make him put the ball on the floor.
And a player who had 15 points as a season high thus far in the Cup. That was against in the trophy. That was against Surrey 89ers. Foul called on the floor as Martin was close to the basket. And he's been a bright spark, hasn't he, Nate Martin, in this first half. 10 points. And has really showed tenacious spirit under the boards. You know, that's the reason why Rob Palinostro brought him in.
Absolutely, and we said it before, him and Evie kept him in close enough to get back in this game.
Here is Carey. Carey attacking Williams. Williams swats it.
That is a defensive play, John.
Brown Jr. muscles his way, misses the shot though. Good defensive stance there from Johnson, who was looking for the offensive foul, but did just enough. And now has the ball at the other end. Battle. Getting the screen, there's the switch to Rye. Battle over Rye. Battle puts it in.
Still a tough shot though, isn't it? He's had to work so hard for his 2.
But back-to-back scores, bridging the second and third for Raekwon Battle. Here is Brown Jr. to Reynolds Jr. Williams, lovely pass to Rye in the corner, drives, throws it down. Aaron Rye, well, he's not dunked it much this season, but my goodness me, with authority right there.
Oh, I just love the decision-making that created that advantage for Aaron Rye. And same thing, he's such a decisive move on the catch. And by that stage, the Riders had stopped playing defense. They hadn't rotated. The middle was wide open, and he does this.
Got the step on Nate Martin and punched it down. A 19-point lead for the Lions. Battle looking for Loving. Johnson. Here is Carey. Steps into a 3. Back iron. And Brown Jr. out-jumps Martin for the rebound. And now Brown Jr. will slow it. 2 minutes played in the third, and the Lions seemingly comfortable right now. Reynolds Jr. sees a gap and exploits it.
Wow, they're having fun, right? They're having fun, sharing the basketball, getting shots they want.
Carey Jr. at the other end, short, gets his own rebound and sticks it in.
Well, you made the point in the first half about Battle, but Carey's the same. They're staying with that responsibility to be a scorer, struggling from the perimeter, so what does he do? Goes inside, gets his own rebound.
Williams misses. Brown Jr. the rebound. Brown Jr. sticks it in at the other end, and for the Lions, one of the leading teams in offensive boards. That was only their 3rd offensive board compared to 7 for the Riders as Carey Jr. goes down Main Street.
But it's just not missing shots. There's no offensive boards when you're shooting what they're shooting, nearly 70%.
Only missed 10 shots thus far.
I mean, Brown's only played 13 minutes for his 14 points. I mean, that's the sort of efficiency coaches love.
Rye puts it on the floor, high off the window, everything dropping for the Lions, inside and out. Carey Jr. to respond, short with the 3. Dean Williams the rebound. Lions out rebounding Leicester though, 23-16. As Williams gives it back to Wright. Good hands from Johnson. Ball spills out of bounds and the Riders collect it. 5th turnover for the Lions. As Carey Jr. comes out. And Travis Evie on the ball comes in.
Evie's looked good though. Yeah, he's done a really nice job at distributing the ball. He's knocked down open shots. So maybe they need that little bit of stability, if you want, and control at the point.
Well, certainly can find teammates anywhere on the floor. Great court vision as Loving in and out, and Rye collects. Aaron Rye now with his 7th rebound to go with 6 points. Here is Williams. And Shavar Reynolds Jr. wants to slow it. 8 to shoot. Rye dancing. And goes up and will get fouled. He'll go to the line.
Well, when they ran the Spain action to just pop Aaron Rye, Williams almost had the post up, but then Williams clears the keyway, and Rye just reads it and really does a great job at protecting the basketball, gets to the free throw line, and I was almost going to curse him by saying he's a very good free throw, and he is a very good free throw shooter.
Yeah.
Every team needs an Aaron Rye. He just does everything very similar. Him and Joel Scott and Dean Williams, those 3 just fundamentally so sound, share the ball really well, and never take bad shots.
Aaron Rye, you say a good free-throw shooter. He's only taken 13 free throws this season in the championship, as Martin responds at the other end. But as you said, a very good free throw shooter and 100% from the field tonight. Brown Jr. puts it on the floor. Lucas Shunas wide open.
Well, I used the phrase, it's an offensive clinic, and it's the best way to describe it. They share the ball, they're only taking good shots, and the defense just cannot take them out of their rhythm.
8th three-pointer tonight out of 13 attempts. Martin misses on the fadeaway. Here is Rye. And Rye fouled by Evie. That'll be Evie's 2nd foul.
Even coming down the floor, Aaron Rye recognized he had Evie guarding him, sent Brown through, and it was just going to back him down, so Evie had to foul him. But a high IQ player, the high IQ team, this team, they really do recognize and make good decisions.
Joel Scott and Adam Adamu come in. Lucas Shunas and Aaron Rye come out. The Lions outscoring Leicester in this 3rd period, 16-8. And we spoke about maybe that buzzer beater from Battle would have ignited something within the Riders at the break, but Lions have certainly clamped on the brakes, as Reynolds Jr. has it. A little bit of separation and puts it in. And Reynolds Jr. just having fun.
He's literally getting what he wants. In fact, as a team, they are just getting what they want. That's all, the only way to sum it up. Kobe penetrates to the dunk. Williams penetrates to the mid and kicks it to the open look. It's just they're getting everything they want and the time they want it. Riders have to come up with something defensively, and otherwise this is going to be a very, very long second half for the Leicester Riders.
Well, in their 3 previous meetings, the Lions have averaged 50% from the field. Right now they're shooting 74%. As Loving attacks the basket and puts it in off the window over Scott.
Well, they're coming out of the timeout. They've run what Coach Paternoster wanted. They get a high percentage shot. Now they've got to get a stop. Get a score, get a stop, get a score, get a stop, and see if you can build some momentum.
Williams down Main Street. Menzies got the block. A whistle has gone. And some of the Riders fans in attendance weren't happy with the call.
Yeah, I'm a little bit with them. I'd like if we could see it again, but it's like, it's almost as though Williams slips there and he's going forward. Menzies going up. The contact was really Williams going into Menzies. So it's a tough one. It was a messy call. So at the end of the day, you can probably see it in any one of 4 or 5 different ways. But Dean Williams, though, I can't. It's a great piece of recruitment to bring him back to the UK. And he is flourishing in this system that Lions have. That smaller lineup on the floor just suits him so well.
Well, last week I put this to Kyler Nelson, who joined me for the game against Cheshire, and I'll put it to you. So many British players, they start out, don't they, by playing football, of course, the #1 sport in this country. But as the years have gone down, they transition to basketball, and Dean Williams certainly one of those players, and someone who's really taken to the sport, of course, won the Basketball Champions League. Just how, you mentioned it, how important it is, but how much of an impact has he had for the Lions this season?
Well, he gives Coach Sabonis throughout the season that option to play small ball and go without an Ethan Price or go without a Williams on the inside. And it's the interesting thing is they've managed to be able to run that quick, smaller lineup in the Europe Cup, and that's because Williams is such a good defender, so long, so quick, and really does defend people a little bit bigger and stronger than him, as he did when he was part of that BCL winning team in Germany.
And as we were talking about him, he went to the bench and
worryingly sort of hobbled to the bench.
Yeah,
I hope that's
I was going to mention that. Ethan Price checks in, another good British talent out of Bury St Edmunds, as the shot clock expires and the Lions come away with it. Adamu. And Adamu, a whistle is called. A travelling violation is called,
He changed his pivot foot before he put it on the floor. Just almost going a little too quick.
Well, a player that likes to attack downhill, Amin Adamu, and you see it there, just as you mentioned, changing the pivot.
Which is very unusual because fundamentally he's a very, very good player.
Such a high basketball IQ, as you said. Here is Battle. Got it tipped away by Adamu. Evie. Finds Loving, shot clock at 3. Loving putting it on the floor. Over, Scott gets fouled with 4/10 of a second left on the shot clock, and that's a wise move from Mark Loving, anticipating that the contact was coming and then putting the shot up.
It was perfect for 23.6 seconds, wasn't it? They kept everything in front there. You see he leaves the floor, traveling forward. Loving recognizes, draws the contact.
Mark Loving to the line, 16 points on 62% from the field a couple of weeks ago against the Newcastle Eagles. And was a perfect 5 for 5 in that game against Newcastle. You can sense that I just delayed that just enough before he shot the first free throw.
Don't curse him, don't curse him.
Hey, I'm not a believer in superstition, okay? There's Loving. I can get away with it now, and he makes the second anyway. Substitutions will come in.
I tell you, John, it's worth mentioning this. Friday night at the Copper Box here, there's a great crowd in the gym, really engaged in the game. Obviously, Lions are playing well, so there's a lot to be excited about. But it's a great atmosphere here in the Copper Box.
It's been a miserable day here in the capital. It's been raining all day. Good to see everyone braving the weather to come here. As Tomiwa Suleiman comes in for the first time, and Ethan Price to the basket.
Love the way that Adamu looked for him, and then Ethan Price just cut hard to the ball. Really dominated on that cut.
Suleiman into the game for the first time in the second half as he got the ball, and Menzies was fouled before he could get it into the basket.
Again, it's a good foul. Because there was a size advantage, did everything he possibly could, got in front. Really, he tries to get in front. I can't stop you, so I'm going to have to foul you. Back on the floor. Let's get back and play more defense.
Well, it's been a more improved spurt for the Riders. Just need to execute on the offense. Here is Evie to Menzies, back to Evie. Step back 2 is money. And that's much better as Adamu on the deck. And staying on the deck. As Travis Evie now moves on to 13, leading the way for the Riders. 5 of 8 from the floor. Adamu gets back to his feet, but holding his left shoulder.
Say, John, it's a good job that Coach Mark Studel at Newcastle, the GB head coach, is not able to watch this game as he's got a game, because Dean Williams has hobbled off. He'd be worried about that. Adamu hits the floor and he'd be worried about that. All he needs is the phone calls at the end of the game to say, I'm fine.
Well, Adamu, Tariq Phillip went off hobbling last Friday against the Cheshire Phoenix, but he recovered. He's on the ball now. Adamu, he's tough as nails. He'll continue on as Phillip off the back iron with his 2, and Menzies, that long frame at 7-3, eases to the rebound. Evie again from the other side, this time no good. And on the follow, Menzies can't get it to fall. Gets his rebound, muscles his way in, fades away. Sandy blocks, foul called. And we'll just see what the foul is.
Well, they've called offensive. They've called Menzies for an offensive foul, which...
might have been for that elbow when he got the rebound off the miss here.
No, they haven't called it yet. They're going to call it now,
there, yeah.
where he moved Scott backwards.
Matthew Goodwin into the game for the Lions. And what a moment for Matthew Goodwin. Lions, of course, in the SLB Cup final in Manchester. Of course, Goodwin's home city.
Yeah.
It'll be a great moment for him in front of his friends and family. Here is Phillip. 1:36 to play in the third. Lions in the ascendancy. Goodwin in the corner. And can't get it to go. Only Lions player to have not scored yet. Carey Jr. to the basket. Blocked by Price.
I mean, Carey stayed with the play here, John, but I'll use the word again. Ethan Price ran 90 feet, the whole length of the floor to get back for that block. This team is just absolutely relentless in its effort. Just outworks everybody to get a piece of it. Again, the opportunity for the young British player in the SLB, and there's a lot of SLB teams playing a lot of British players now. And, you know, it's in the past it's been a criticism of the league, but you cannot throw that criticism at the SLB now. And Ethan Price is a great example. You know, Ipswich, the academy and everything there, goes to college, comes back, and now he's really making his pro career really work for him. Yeah, it's just a great piece of recruitment. He's got better every week this year with Lions. It's just a great story all around. And a player that always wants to learn. That's every coach's dream, isn't it? Native of Bury St Edmunds and doing Nick Drain and everyone at Ipswich proud as he gets the ball here. Shot clock in single figures. Phillip. 5 to shoot now. And a bit of a miscommunication there. A rare miscommunication given how this game has gone for the Lions. Look at the defensive transition, though, John. They're right back. Still get back. Yeah, they're right back. As Menzies is fouled under the hoop. It's just a clinic both ways. It's just their relentless level is the difference between the... It's not a talent thing now. It's because, as you said, this Leicester lineup is a talented lineup. This is about consistency of effort, relentlessness that Lions have. And like you said, you know, they've been relentless all game long, the Lions, but this is against a very talented Leicester team. Okay, they might be 7th in the SLB. They still have a winning record as well, and that's something that, you know, we speak about with the SLB. Last season, 4 different teams winning 4 different trophies. This season, the top 7 all have winning records. That speaks volumes, and you know, Leicester, certainly their position doesn't reflect the performances they've put in. Well, they're in 7th, but 3rd down to 7th, they're all pretty much within a game of each other. Of course, the Lions this is only their 17th game of the championship. They've played less games than anyone else, of course, due to Euro Cup commitments. Here is Phillip. That's another worrying thing, isn't it? For the rest of the league, looking at them now with no Europe Cup now, because that's finished for them. They're going to be a really tough ask.
Scott attacking the 7-3 Menzies, gets fouled, and that's something that London have really missed for the last few weeks when Joel Scott was out with that hamstring injury, as we see here on the replay. Has the speed on Menzies, doesn't he, and then goes over him. That's no easy task.
As you saw, when Menzies had to close out, no one in a red uniform looked to actually step in and help, because Scott was obviously going to put the ball on the floor.
Scott hits the first, and Scott now moves on to double digits, 10 points.
No surprise there at all.
No. 4 of 5 from the field this evening. As said, 6th in the SLB, 16 points a game, and shooting 59% from the field. A really solid number as we enter the final 20 seconds of the third quarter. There's around 2-second differential between shot and game. Well, just under 2 seconds. Here is Evie. And Soliman gets it stripped by Goodwin, excuse me. Brown blows the layup, and that'll do it for the third quarter. And the Lion way for the final quarter. And the Lions leading by 22. Biggest lead of the game for the Lions was 26. Here is Carey. Here is Martin. Martin on the spin, doesn't get it to fall. Ball bobbles around. Martin again has it and puts it in at the second attempt.
Love the effort, John. Love the effort. He is the one guy you can say can't do any more than he's doing for the Riders tonight. Exceptional work rate.
Only one of 3 Riders players shooting over 50%. In fact, the only Riders player shooting over 70% thus far. 6 of 7 from the floor for Nate Martin. You can chuck in 5 rebounds for good measure with his 12 points. Reynolds Jr., Lucas Shunas to Williams. 10 on the shot clock, and a whistle has gone. Offensive foul away from the ball as the Copper Box will let the referees know their opinions on that. That'll be a foul on Aaron Rye. Only his second, though, of the game.
It's one of those fouls that I couldn't see what the call was, if I'm being honest. I didn't really see anything to call.
Michael Diamond Hunter in a good position to see what we couldn't see. Flynn Borman Lafayette with the ball. Here is Carey. Carey, lovely pass inside. Martin looked to go for the flush. He almost got caught in 2 minds. Rye. Brown Jr. to Rye. Here is Reynolds at the top. 10 to shoot. Williams to the basket. Spring Williams with the bunnies. Soliman. Stolen by Reynolds, collected by Williams. And Reynolds Jr. slows it. Reynolds Jr. a 3, no good. And Martin collects the rebound. Carey Jr. attacking Brown. Again, Brown stands his ground. What footwork, though. Can't get the shot to go. And Reynolds Jr. walks it.
Just replay this game for how to play defense. It's just a tremendous effort down the defensive end.
Reynolds Jr. sees Rye. And that's an offensive foul on Aaron Rye, and that's a 3rd foul for him. Good stance there from Carey.
Yeah. Stayed down, took the contact on the chest.
As we have a look at the replay.
It's a super execution throughout that whole set, John. I mean, Dean Williams with a really highlight flush, but Reynolds with the timing on the pass, the execution on the screen, just exceptional. This is a joy to cover.
Except if you're a Riders fan watching at home, as Battle collects and he elevates and detonates.
Slams it down for the Riders.
Well, you got a highlight there, Leicester Riders fans. Reynolds Jr. And the foul is called. As that's got to be something so nice, we've got to see it twice, surely. As the lob and the flush, Battle going upstairs. For once, Mark, you're speechless.
What? But we talked at the half about they should set more screens for Battle. Well, they actually set a screen that took him to the ring for the first time in the game. Great timing on the pass, super athlete, super finish. Just got to run more screens away from the ball for him.
Lukashunas from no man's land. Carey Jr. at the other end. That's off the back iron, and Lukashunas collects. Brown Jr. Lovely, beautiful.
Wow, this is a show. It's an absolute show by the Lions.
Conquerors of the Lions last season, but for the Riders, yeah, like you said, they're a very talented team, but the Lions, 5 players have gone 100% from the floor, and if you go to the players that have shot over 2 shots in this game, 3 of them have got 100%, as Battle rattles in a 3. But it's a hard-working 3, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, Brown did a really good job.
Yeah.
The hand was up. Battle just made a tough shot, which Battle has done all year for the Riders. Exceptional offensive talent.
And a dab hand at commentary as well. He was joining Dan Routledge in the Northwest for that game against Newcastle to start off this round. Lukashunas on the ball. Lukashunas sees daylight and chucks the ball right out of bounds. Could have gone for the layup there, but decided to go to Shavar Reynolds Jr., who was not ready to collect a pass like that.
It's easy for me to say at this point, but again, it's an example. If you make the guy with the ball, put it on the floor, and have to make a decision on the dribble, and everyone's active away, you will generate turnovers. You will generate more missed shots.
Boardman Rafi at a 3. And look to go off the glass. Ball is loose and right into the front row it goes. It will stay on that side with the Riders. 6:06 to play in this one, and the Riders, the Lions up by 22 as Amin Adamu comes in. Lukashunas checks out. Boardman Rafi. Boardman Rafiet puts it on the floor, attacks Adamu and floats one in.
A little bit of Barking Abbey on Barking Abbey.
Just about to actually say that. That's making you proud.
Well, yeah, I think there's a lot of people like the guys at Richmond Knights have got a lot to do with...
Dean Williams short with the 3. So. Yeah. And here is Boardman Rafiet, gives it up to Martin, and a collection there of Brown and Williams pin it. Brown Jr. at the other end, Adamu. And Williams, the trailer, didn't want to collect the pass. Here is Reynolds. Reynolds dancing, throws it up, doesn't get it to fall. Only London's 14th miss of this game. A 3-pointer, corner pocket bucket for Boardman Rafiet, and a timeout called by Coach VP of the lot.
But John, it's an interesting thing, right? Once you get crowds into the habit of coming, they keep coming because the show's a good show. And that's where the Lions appear to be getting right now, because this is a great Friday night crowd.
Let's go Lions!
Boardman Rafiet there.
Hey, and you know what? Why wouldn't you want to come here?
Yeah, exactly.
With a team playing in this type of basketball, playing up-tempo, defensively being written, they're fun to watch. So,
ball is loose, and the Riders come up with it. Suleiman a 3, that's long. And on the follow, Battle can't get the ball to go. Adamu now up court, down Main Street. And a good defensive stance, but a foul is called Soliman there, pumping his chest, thinking he got the defensive stop, but the referee just calling the whistle.
If we see the replay, perhaps we might get a bit. Well, we're going to see the replay. He's not going straight up. He's coming across. Amu sort of like tries to get the shot away, but as you can see, Suleiman he'll say he's trying to clear me out.
Yeah.
But he was going towards Amin Adamu. Was not straight up, and there was contact. Therefore, the referee is always going to go with the foul on the defensive player.
Adamu at the line, 8 points, and one of those 5 players that has not missed from the field here tonight. 3 of 3 from the field.
I mean, Amin Adamu's numbers across the whole season are numbers where, he's playing like a high-level guard. He's playing 22 minutes a game, shooting 62 and 44%. He's just having a pro season. It's great for his career this year.
Carey Jr. putting the moves on Phillip, 4:32 to play, and gets his own offensive board. That's one thing the Riders have done so well tonight, is collecting the offensive boards, but haven't done much on the second chance, as Soliman can't get it to fall, and Adamu collects. And Adamu gets it stripped by Carey Jr. And a bit of a Euro step to the basket for Carey.
You've got to give Carey some credit here. This is a tough night at the office for him offensively. As a guy that scores for fun every week has struggled, but he's still putting it out there, comes up with a steal, finishes the play. And that's going to bode well for the Riders come the end of the season and the playoffs.
And another player now that makes it into double figures for Leicester, 10 points, however, 4 of 18. Yeah,
it's been a hard 10 points, isn't it?
However, he's battled, just because the field goal percentage has been low. He's kept on plugging away as Brown Jr. sees some light and floats it in. Somehow finds a way.
And that's, again, a great piece of recruitment to bring him in late in the season. He's instant, isn't he? Instant offense, instant energy.
Battle. Martin. Lots of time on the shot clock. Battle on the catch and shoot. Buries a 3. Third 3-pointer for Raekwon Battle in this game. Second one in the second half. Here is Phillip. 3:10 to play here at the Copper Box. Phillip finds Price underneath, and Price will go to the stripe. And again, Ethan Price, right place, right time to collect that pass from Tariq Phillip. As Joel Scott will check in a bit. And Chandy Brown Jr. comes out. We see there the replay of Ethan Price going back to the stripe for the Lions. Ethan Price, 2 of 3 tonight, 4 points off the bench, and as we mentioned, doing Copleston and Ipswich proud. Of course, Nick Drain, very proud of how he's been playing and his development from Eastern Washington to Washington State to here in his first professional contract.
Well, we've mentioned a number of the really good, really high-performing academies, and they're high-performing because they prepare players to be professionals. They're interested in winning when it comes to academy championships, but their primary concern is what can they do to get someone like Ethan Price ready to be a professional player. Nick Drain and Ipswich, as good a program as there is anywhere.
And in a very small area, very much outside the big cities, as Martin punches it home.
You could argue they have a monopoly of the area.
Well, they certainly have a hold on East Anglia, I'll tell you that. Here is Phillip. Adamu. Scott. 7 to shoot for the Lions as we come up to 2 minutes to play in this one. Adamu puts on the speed and puts it in.
His first step is super quick. He'd gone before the defense could adjust, and then he's got the ability to just kiss it off the glass and make the 2.
And he moves on to 11, 4 of 4 from the field. Soliman a 3. That's short. And Phillip snags the rebound. And Phillip nearly got it stolen away. Adamu helps his brother out. And Phillip will slow it down. Under 2 minutes to play. The Lions have only missed 15 shots in this entire game. And Price with the flush.
Well, they're not going to miss any more, are they, from that when they're throwing it down from there. Again, their ability to share the ball, exceptional.
So unselfish as Carey has it. And Borman Rafiet will step into a three. That's off the back iron. And there was a selection of Lions players that could have got the rebound, and Phillip leaves it to Scott. And that's Scott's second board to go with 11 points. And a very, very rare 8-second call against the Lions. Don't see that often.
Not in that situation either,
No.
was it? It was as if the defense had caused it. Tariq Phillip just took too long. You know, it's,
very lackadaisical, especially when there was 3 players going for that rebound. They were almost inviting each other to collect it, and they were just walking the ball up.
well, 39 minutes into the game,
Yeah.
to get something that's lackadaisical for the Lions.
12 turnovers, though, tonight for the Lions, and something that the Riders have improved on from even though they won against Newcastle. They had 20 turnovers in that game, just 4 here tonight, but just haven't really capitalised or haven't had much of a chance to capitalise. As Borman Rafiet has the ball, here is Martin. Martin under the glass.
Solid, isn't he? Just really, really solid as a basketball player.
Such a bright spark for the Riders tonight. Certainly on a night to forget, but everyone has bad days at the office. They'll be back. There's no doubt about that, as Adamu.
But here's a question, John. Is it a bad day at the office for the Riders, or is it because the Lions have been exceptionally good? You know, it's been a bad day for Battle in terms of field goal percentages. A bad day for Carey in terms of field goal percentages. I think Leicester, the Riders can find ways to get them better looks. But it's been an exceptional Lions performance. Both ends of the floor. It's just been exceptional.
And Adamu to the stripe with 1:02 to play and strings the first. Lions 13 of 16 tonight from the stripe. A 74% shooting team for the season from the charity stripe. And Adamu buries them both. Final minute of action here at the Copper Box on what has been an offensive clinic by the Lions. Battle on the catch and shoot, no good. 2 of 8 tonight. Puts it up again, and a whistle has gone. A whistle has gone against Adamu. So that'll be 3 free throws for Raekwon Battle.
Amin Adamu looks perplexed, is the best way to describe it. Actually, the ball came out a bit weird. I would have thought there was some contact because it really didn't come out of the hand the way you'd expect it to.
Well, Raekwon Battle to the line for the Riders. Hits the first, 46.5 to go. Fans still in good voice on a Friday night, as their London Lions have certainly, as mentioned, put on an offensive clinic here, and the Leicester Riders have just been ambushed from the start. But to their credit, they've battled away, haven't they?
That's a great way of wording it. They literally have been ambushed.
And Battle, well, he got his own rebound off the miss. Now, I'm not going to boast a referee qualification in that, but I'm a bit confused on that one. But
I don't think
I'll let that one go.
He didn't step over the line.
Well, they're just checking it over now. Battle thought that was a legal play.
I don't think it's illegal at all.
And another thing as well, okay, it's academic anyway, isn't it? The game is over, but that just killed a little bit of momentum there for the Riders, but the Lions get the ball.
Well, you're right, it is academic. Apart from the fact it's not academic because the Riders are still playing hard.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
No, but it is academic in terms of I'm not quite sure what the interpretation of the call is.
Well,
maybe you
I'll stay out of that one now.
Someone could let us know why that was called.
Goodwin.
He's out of bounds.
Out of bounds, Ethan Price. Just unaware of his surroundings there as Matthew Goodwin gave him the pass. 25.6 on the clock. And the Lions will stop just short of triple digits, but they will collect the win here tonight. A fourth victory over the Riders this season. Suleiman misses the three. Goodwin being urged by the Lions bench to shoot. Lukashunas, and that'll do it. A good night at the office for the London Lions. A clinic for the league leaders.